So I'm here today in Newcastle at Junction 42, and I've got the pleasure of chatting with Joanne and a couple of the lads that have benefited from the support from Junction 42, which is a charity that we've supported via a transformational grant 3 years ago. So, would the two of you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Wayne Rowland. I'm nearly 50 and I've known Junction 42 for 15 years.
I'm Adam. I'm from Hartlepool but living in Newcastle, and I've known Junction 42 for probably about 10 years.
And would you feel comfortable telling us why you went to prison?
Yeah, I think mine's been a culmination of growing up and falling through the nets of the appropriate services. For the diagnosis I have wasn't known about back then, so it was inevitable I was going to end up in prison, you know. And I've been out 3 weeks now, and I came to Junction 42 and straight away they've engaged with me and allowed us to be myself, and they've supported us in ways. But prison's a hard environment and there's not enough help to support one not to go to prison. I think these organisations like Junction 42 and other ones are doing the legwork now that needs to be done for supporting people like us.
Yeah.
Before and after.
Yeah, brilliant, thanks.
The truth is, for me, I didn't have any good guidance when I was growing up. My dad, when I went and found my dad when I was about 13, because my mum and dad were divorced when I was 4 or 5, I went and found my dad, and it became clear very quickly that he was a drug addict and the house was a drug house. So I was exposed to things from an early age that I shouldn't have been exposed to. Crime, violence, and ultimately prison. I spent most of my life in prison. 28 years of my life I've spent in prison. I felt like I belonged in prison for a long time. It was instilled in me from being young that I was no good. I always felt as though I didn't belong in the world. I never really had any ambitions other than to be in the army, but I failed to get in the army. I came to a place where I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want life anymore. I didn't think there was a place in the world for me. I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't feel like I was sick of trying. I tried and tried again in my own strength, but I couldn't seem to do it. And after 2 attempted suicides, I cried out to a God that I didn't even know. The only thing I knew about Jesus was a picture of a man on a cross. No more, no less, but still I called out to this God, screaming and swearing, what do you want from me? I can't do anything with this life. I don't want it, I don't like it. I just want to give you it back because I'm wasting it. I'd rather you give it to somebody else. But if you can do anything, if you are real and you are there and you can come in and you can help me and change me, I'll give my life to you. And I thought I was going crazy because things started happening. A voiceless voice started speaking into my soul saying, I don't want you to give your life back to me, Adam. I want you to give your life to me. He gave me a new spirit, put a new heart in me, put a new song in me, and shined a light at the end of that tunnel. And 10 years later, it's been a steady leading down that road. He's changed my selfish heart, given me a servant's heart.
You've got a job.
He's opened doors here, there and everywhere. I've ended up getting a job through Junction 42 ultimately, who I met in prison, who supported me in prison, sat with me in that darkness, and ultimately brought the light to me, brought Jesus to me, and had fellowship with me in prison and supported me since I've been out.
Yeah. So what was the connection with Junction 42 like for you? How did that, and I was sort of putting this to both of you, how did that connection start? And what has Junction 42 meant for you?
Mine go back to 2010, so it was my first time in prison, and I got a 7-year sentence. And me as a person, I'm an outdoor man. I like to be on top of hills. I like to see vista. I like to be free. So sticking me in a box with bars, I cried. And I cried for weeks behind that door, and I contemplated suicide. You know, I thought, I can't do 7 years. And that noise of that door for the first time when it shut, and you know that door's going to be your Lord every day. So I never missed a time when I could get out my cell and be with the lads. And, you know, there used to be there was an elderly couple used to come in, they would bring the biscuits from their kitchen and milk and things like that. And it wasn't about that, but that's how much, they didn't know us. We were criminals, you know, murderers, whatever we were in there for. And I didn't really like who I was at all as a person. I hated myself, and I use the word, I hated myself for what I'd done. And I didn't feel any love from anybody around us. But in the room with Junction 42, when we learned about the Bible, when we sat and did prayer, then things started happening. Then the light started switching on. Magical things started happening for me in that 7-year period. I became a drug worker in prison after that. I was a dart worker. And I found my sobriety and my substance-free life I could give to other lads. So tomorrow I'm travelling down to Harrogate to start a new life. And this is through Junction 42 as well. This is through the staff when I hit that buzzer and they're there for a cup of tea and a chat. And they gave us a phone, a lifeline. They are part of a circle of different agencies that have been there, but all the agencies that help us are agencies that are connected to God. I've got to have that said. Yeah. It's the agencies that are working through God and the life skills that they offer to me.
I wanted to start helping other people. I wanted to start serving. And yeah, I helped with the Alpha group a few times. Every time they ran it, I helped. And I just used to have regular fellowship with them, like with the packs.
You want to tell the world, don't you?
Yeah.
When it's happening.
The employment packs that they've done, the art and craft packs, I started doing those when I was unemployed, so that really helped at times while I was in there. And when I got out of prison, yeah, they took me to the gym the first time I got out of prison. That was 3 years ago. That led to me getting a volunteer job at Benfield Road Football Ground. I got recalled for being late, served the rest of my licence. Same again, I've had constant fellowship with Junction 42 all throughout my sentence. Helped with the Alpha courses, got to know them better, became friends with them, got back out. They helped me find housing, they picked me up from the gate.
And you've got a job now as well?
Yeah, got a part-time job now.
In a church?
Yeah, in a church, yeah. But if it wasn't for Junction 42 picking me up from the gate from prison and coming through the journey with me, hand in hand and alongside me.
That's the most sensitive partner at release.
I wouldn't have been able to do it because it was totally overwhelming. I'm institutionalised. It's like being a baby again, really. You need leading through the steps just of basic living, and they took the time to do that.
Thanks for being so open with us, both of you. It's been a real privilege to chat to you both, and real pleasure to meet you both. And I'm just going to wish you both best of luck with the move to Harrogate and a new adventure, yes. And you with your job at City Church. And just, yeah, hope it goes well for both of you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.